Hey, first of all, before we get this video right here started, man, there's a lot of people be coming to the page, be talking about like how people be like posting stuff and we trying to clickbait or whatever, you know what I'm saying? This ain't no clickbait. What it is what we do is we research on the internet and we find a story that we feel like, oh, okay, this is what's popping or this is what's going down right now. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that YouTube is a copycat game, you know what I mean? It's like, why somebody got to come to the page always to be like, that's clickbait. That's fake news. And you know what I'm saying? We don't know really. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. If you hear somebody speaking about somebody and they don't say their name right, or they not pronouncing the words that we know how it's supposed to be said, then we know that could possibly be AI. But that's what Trump was talking about when he was talking about fake news. You know what I'm saying? They know what kind of news to put out there and what news not to put out there. You know what I mean? So we won't be deceived. You feel me? So therefore, that's why I say always, I'm going to always say when I post something that it's allegedly. You know what I'm saying? That means that it possibly could have happened. So therefore, you know, we don't know, but our job is to message y'all and to let y'all know for those that can't catch some of this stuff. Everybody live in different time zones, different countries, different states. So therefore, we're keeping each other informed. We're keeping each other paid. You know what I'm saying? By like, sharing, and subscribing. If you don't want to like and share and subscribe to other people paid, but you expect them to do it to you, you know what I'm saying? That's not right. You know what I'm saying? So when you click on somebody's page, click subscribe because you want them to do that for you. You know what I'm saying? That's what the game is about. But we finna get into this right quick, man. This is Chris Tucker and how he was silenced in Hollywood. It's like you don't really be knowing how they get silenced in the, you know, in Hollywood or whatever. But when you see that they're not coming out fluently with different shit back to back, it could possibly be a halt to something. You know what I mean? Because we ain't really seen dog and nothing super really new yet. You know what I mean? So therefore, it's like Hollywood know how to shut you up when you turn down advances or turn down things that they may want you to do. Now, all of them done messed up and dressed up like girls and, you know what I'm saying, and all that. So therefore, that was y'all first mistake. So now y'all targets. Don't do that. We are men, Damians. We finna get into this Chris Tucker, man, on why Hollywood silenced him, man. Katt Williams already, man, like went super viral for just coming out telling the truth. And what's so crazy is he told the truth to where did nobody deny what he said. They just want to silence him and shut him up. And you know what I'm saying? A child of God, you got a gang of people that want to shut him up and silence him and kill him and all this. And now he's targeted and all that. A child of God, you need to come down here, bro, and do what you need to do, homie. That's all I need to say. Because it's like whenever my time come or whatever, I just won't have to deal with none of this shit no more. And if anybody trying to threaten me and take me up out of here, I got to at least take somebody with me. So therefore, stop playing with people. We finna get into this video, though, man. Coolest dude on YouTube. I'm finna spark up this. I got me a hot toddy. It's cold, so everybody getting a little flu around here. You know what I'm saying? We already checked ourselves. No COVID. You know what I mean? And stay masked up. We'll be right back. Let's see what's popping.
Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker.
Oh, Lord.
Not Smokey.
Oh, Lord.
You knew Jeffrey Epstein, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. You know, we flew.
Your relationship with Michael Jackson. How do
Yes.
you explain that?
Oh man, that's another one, man.
Chris Tucker may have been enjoying the quiet life in the shadows, but Katt Williams just rocked his world. In his recent viral interview, the Friday After Next star exposed the true colors of some of the most notable names in comedy, including Steve Harvey, Kevin Hart, and Cedric the Entertainer. Unfortunately, Chris Tucker ended up on the chopping block as well. According to Katt, Tucker is one of the many people who flew to Epstein's Island. Back then, Tucker might have thought that he was climbing the ladder of success by hanging out with the Hollywood elite. However, years later, it seems like Tucker's decision to align himself with the likes of Jeffrey Epstein led to an early career death. But according to Katt, it's not black and white. Word on the street is that Chris was silenced by some powerful people, and the reason why he's in this mess is all because of Epstein and his island. So, what exactly did Katt say? Why did Chris leave the big picture? And did Hollywood really silence Chris because he went to Epstein's island?
What his island do? What be happening on the island? Well, it's on the island, so you don't know. We better start putting more drones up in the sky, man, to go check these people out.
Let's find out.
Content, because that's all you know me for, is that I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
For years, Katt has carried the burden of speaking the bitter truth about Hollyweird on his shoulders, and his recent appearance on the Club Shay Shay podcast echoed the same values. Clips of the interview have been trending across all platforms as Katt drags the names of some major players into the spotlight. Unfortunately for Chris Tucker, he too was exposed as one of the many comedians who sold their soul to the devils of Hollywood. During the interview, Katt and the podcast's host, Shannon Sharpe, were discussing why fans never got another Friday movie. The American Stoner film was released in 1995 and featured the best of the best, including John Witherspoon, Ice Cube, and Chris Tucker. The cast got together once more for the sequel in 2000. However, Chris Tucker didn't make an appearance. Still, the sequel ended up a hit with fans who had their fingers crossed for a third movie.
Well, you don't think they asked Chris Tucker to come back in the second Friday? Smokey was all in Smokey. There ain't no Friday without Smokey.
We all agree to that, and there's no next Friday without Friday, and there's no Friday after next without Friday.
We talk about the road because you said that they don't.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. Chris was allowed to make the decision.
Unfortunately, that never happened, and decades later, Katt is clearing the air on why that is. According to him, one of the reasons was John Witherspoon's untimely death. The comedian passed away in 2019 owing to a heart attack, and no one could have measured up to fill his shoes. But that wasn't the only reason. Katt explained that although they did lose a lot of greats, they didn't lose Chris Tucker. However, fans might want to remove any expectations because according to Katt, the Chris we know today is not the Chris who took on the role of Smokey in the 1995 cult classic. In Katt's words, he's actually the Epstein Island Chris Tucker. While it may seem like Katt might be bending the truth for the sake of a viral moment, he isn't. Interestingly enough, the comedian is not the first person to drop Chris and Epstein's names in the same sentence. Jeffrey Epstein's case is easily the biggest blow to the Hollywood elite in the 21st century. The American financier was arrested in July 2019 for his crimes. However, Epstein passed away a month later in his jail cell. According to the autopsy reports, Epstein took his own life. Yet, years after his passing, Epstein's name is still in the headlines today as details about his trafficking rings come to light. For years, Epstein flew out notable politician leaders, lawyers, and big-time celebrities to his island. And strangely enough, Chris Tucker happens to be one of them. In 2002, the comedian boarded Epstein's personal plane along with former President Bill Clinton and actor Kevin Spacey.
Now, you know Bill Clinton, man. He was getting his dome, like, you know what I'm saying, got with the podium. You know what I'm saying? He can sit there at the podium and do a speech and be getting brain. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but man, I'm telling you, man, this is like a real nasty, crooked, demonic world, man, for the ones that like really initiates this type of stuff, this type of behavior, rather. That's real talk, man. It's like, ain't no way. I automatically know I'm a man. I'm supposed to love a woman. I'm not knocking for those that do love the same sex. I'm not. Some people need love from somewhere. But that's not good right there, though, man, because it's like it's not what God intended it for us to be. He would have made you a girl if you're supposed to have been a girl. You know what I'm saying? Things in people's life may make them make those decisions, but I look at it like, man, y'all got to have way more morals, man. Morals is the key to end all them woes. Let's go.
On paper, these men had come together for a humanitarian mission, touring AID project sites in South Africa for a week under the Clinton Foundation. However, fans couldn't help but question the odd pairing. Just what business did Chris have with the likes of Clinton and Spacey? They came from different worlds. Kevin might have been a celebrated actor, but his house of cards came tumbling down in 2017 when Anthony Rapp accused him of SA. Following the allegations, 15 more individuals came forward to accuse Spacey of inappropriate conduct. Meanwhile, Bill Clinton has his own closet of skeletons. Over the years, the former president has been accused of SA by several women. What's more, Bill and his wife, Hillary Clinton, were implicated in a kidnapping case following the 2010 Haiti earthquake. Safe to say, Chris stood out like a sore thumb. He had nothing in common with these individuals, or so fans thought. Given the controversy, folks obviously had a whole lot of questions for Tucker. Was he really on the plane for the sake of the humanitarian mission? Or was there something going on behind the scenes that fans didn't know about? Interestingly, the Rush Hour actor jumped to clear the air in a 2021 interview with All Urban Central. According to him, the actor didn't know he was on a sex trafficker's private plane. He only met Epstein and Spacey for the sake of the humanitarian trip and had no clue about what was going on behind closed doors.
Bill Clinton and a lot of different, that was a humanitarian trip to Africa. And I met him on that trip because it was his plane. I didn't know who plane we was getting on, but it was a whole bunch of dignitary people. We was with a delegation, and yeah, I met him, and you know, you don't know people, what they do in their private life.
Tucker was then asked point blank if he ever traveled to Epstein's island, and he firmly denied it. However, fans can't help but doubt his answer. They made note of how Chris laughed uncontrollably hard in response to the question. Given the nature of all that Jeffrey has been accused of, fans are side-eyeing Chris for laughing in the moment.
Wait a minute. You didn't never go to that island, did you?
No. I don't know where that thing at.
And that's not all. Fans also made note of how Tucker said "we" while referring to himself and Epstein. One fan commented, "The fact that he said he knew him and we flew a lot of people around all the time means he said we relating to him and Epstein. He said it, not me." Just when did Epstein and Tucker become a team? Did Chris slip up and dig his own grave? Or was it an innocent mistake that meant nothing? What's more, it's now been revealed that the Boeing 727 Chris boarded was actually frequently used to fly underage girls and Epstein's high-profile clients to his properties, earning itself the name Lolita Express. The pilot of the Boeing 727, Larry Visosky, testified during the trial of Epstein's right-hand man, or woman in this case, Ghislaine Maxwell, currently ongoing in Manhattan. Maxwell was an integral part of Epstein's trafficking ring, grooming underage girls and offering them up to Epstein. Following her arrest in 2020, the British socialite is being charged with multiple felony counts, including trafficking underage girls for the late sexual offender, and is looking at a life in prison. According to Larry's testimony, he piloted about 1,000 trips for Epstein between 1991 and 2019 for Epstein. During his time, Larry never saw any signs of sexual activity on the plane. However, he did make note of all the public figures that boarded the plane, including Prince Andrew, Kevin Spacey, Bill Gates, and Chris Tucker. That said, there's more evidence stacked against Chris that links him to Epstein and the notorious island. Earlier on January 3rd, 2024, a new batch of court documents detailing the names of more than 150 high-profile clients and celebrities who visited Epstein's island, Little St. James, were released to the public upon a federal judge's ruling. The names, provided by Virginia Giuffre, one of Epstein's most prominent accusers, had been kept under seal for years. Although some of the contents are still redacted, the documents mention the likes of Cameron Diaz, Bruce Willis, Michael Jackson, Cate Blanchett, and Chris Tucker. And that's not all. As hard as Chris is trying to sell the narrative that he never stepped foot on the notorious island, the facts suggest otherwise. Back in the day, Shantae Davies ended up as an air hostess on the Lolita Express. However, within days of being hired, Davies was SA'd by Epstein. Years after the incident, Davies recounted her horrifying story for the TV documentary Surviving Jeffrey Epstein. And guess what? Later, during an interview with The Sun, Davies admitted that she was the air hostess for the flight that Kevin Spacey, Bill Clinton, and Chris Tucker were on. And that's not all. Since the incident, photos of Chris posing with Epstein's staff have come to light. In one picture, fans can see Tucker all smiles with Epstein's housekeeper, Jun Lin. The likes of Bill Clinton, Prince Andrew, and his wife, Sarah Ferguson, have also been pictured with Epstein's staff. Just why was Tucker posing with Epstein's housekeeper if he was only on the plane for the sake of the humanitarian project? And if you think that's where it ends, think again. There are a lot more questions surrounding Chris that need to be answered, like his close relationship with Michael Jackson. Chris's friendship with MJ is no secret. However, according to Katt, the pair wasn't simply best buds. He pointed out how MJ used to call Chris Christmas and hinted at a more sinister narrative that fans were not aware of.
He Michael Jackson's best friend. Christmas? Michael Jackson called him Christmas. You ever met a man that gave you a little nickname like that?
No.
Me.
My nickname was Toothpick because I was a little dude in the hood, real little. I'm still like a little small, but it's like my nickname was Toothpick. You know what I'm saying? I took that. I was like, nigga, that's my shit. Nigga, you know what I'm saying? OG Toothpick. Let's go.
Neither.
To add to the controversy, MJ was listed as one of Epstein's clients in the recently released documents. Fans have now started looking at Tucker differently, owing to his close relationship with the later singer. While Chris maintains that he never stepped foot on Epstein's island, some fans believe that Chris did in fact end up on the island. However, they think that he witnessed some unsettling things, which is why he was silenced. Others think that Chris decided to walk away from the limelight after seeing the true face of Hollywood. Meanwhile, the likes of Katt Williams think that Chris sold his soul to the devil and ended up paying the price for it. Fans think that Chris knew all about what was going on behind closed doors and chose to stay silent to further his career. One fan commented, "Even if he didn't do anything directly, he definitely witnessed stuff happening. And to stay in the good graces of Hollywood, he said nothing, which is just as bad." Whatever the case, one look at Tucker's career and it's obvious that something had gone wrong somewhere down the line. Chris Tucker first appeared on the stage in 1992 on Def Comedy Jam. From the get-go, it was apparent that the young comedian had a spark for this line of work. Following his debut, Tucker was able to land small roles in films House Party 3 and Meteor Man. In 1997, Tucker climbed higher with his role as Smokey in the film Friday.
The first Fridays, I was so happy I got that movie because I knew how it was going to help my career, because all I was doing then, before that, was touring to state, and I was going back to state, but I wanted to go to the next level. So I said,
Chris found his big break alongside Jackie Chan in the global hit Rush Hour. Chris ended up pocketing $2 million for his role as LAPD Detective Carter. He then went on to star in Rush Hour 2 and 3, cashing in $20 million and $25 million for the films respectively. With his newfound success and his status as one of the highly paid actors in Hollywood, Tucker had successfully broken into the big leagues. Given the track that Tucker was on, it seemed like Hollywood was at his feet. Opportunities should have come knocking at its door. However, Tucker's resume after Rush Hour is a disappointment. It's hard to imagine that someone who was once the highest paid actor in Hollywood just disappeared from the scene like that. Just why did Tucker give up on the chance of a lifetime? Well, over the years, Chris has tried to explain his decision. Back in 2001, Chris sat down for an interview with The Morning Call and talked about giving acting a rest. He said, "I traveled around the world promoting Rush Hour, and then I realized that I didn't want to work no more, ever. I just wanted to chill by the beach." He also said, "To be honest, I couldn't find anything worth doing, so I spent the time soul-searching and growing up. I feel I'm young and I've got a long time to do movies, and I didn't want to just jump out there and do any movie stuff stuff just to do it. I wanted to do stuff that I was really going to have fun with. However, according to others, Chris walked away from acting because of his spiritual calling. The actor was born into a Christian family, and following the filming of his 1997 film, Money Talks, Chris found his religion once more.
My mama, man, she didn't play, man. My mama made us go to church. Made us. We ain't even sin yet. We still had to go to church. Now get up, you are going to church. Mama, can't the preacher come here sometimes?
Hey, Chris Tucker is funny, though. That's one thing about it. That's my boy. That's one of my favorite comedians. You know what I'm saying? Chris Tucker, Eddie Murphy, you know what I'm saying? Katt Williams, Eddie Griffin, you know what I'm saying? Man, the list goes on, though. Everybody else is like, you know, they normal. You know what I'm saying?
We always going to him.
In line with his new ideals, Chris decided to abandon the raunchy comedy that he had become known for. This erased any possibility of a Friday film, since Chris didn't want to portray himself as a stoner on the big screen anymore.
At the time that this is happening, Katt Williams is known for smoking weed. Willie Nelson is known for smoking weed.
Right.
Snoop's known for smoking weed, but none of us is really known except Willie. And I'm saying, Chris Tucker didn't want to be the poster child for smoking weed. He don't smoke weed like that.
Right.
He in the church.
What's more, Chris revealed that he wasn't interested in doing sequels, though he did do one for Rush Hour.
I thought about doing sequels. I always wanted to do a good job and keep moving to the next movie. So Cube asked me back in, I think it was 96 or 97. He's Chris, we want to do another Fridays, man. And I was just like, nah, I don't want to do another Fridays. I want to do like Eddie Murphy them did. I want to do Money Talks. I did Money.
Comedy analyst Rex Garvin supported the claim during his interview for a comedy hype documentary about Chris Tucker.
In his process of trying to go to the next level within his comedy, he had a what you call a Christian comedy crash without letting it flow automatically. Once you step in that next level, no one can train you for that. No one can prepare you for that. You're on your own.
Tucker ended up saying no to some big-time roles, given his newly discovered values. Back in the day, the actor was in talks for the role of Willie Beeman in the 1999 Any Given Sunday. However, the role went to Jamie Foxx instead. It's highly likely that Tucker said no to the offer since it focused on the fast life in professional sports. Chris also walked away from Black Knight, owing to issues with the script. Interestingly enough, Tucker turned down the chance to star in Pink Panther as well, which didn't make sense to fans since it was a family movie.
That's crazy, man. You want to turn down a movie that's showing masculinity with like playing football and shit like that, but then it's like it being Rush Hour in the little dress, making the little high-pitched hollers and all that. Come on, man. That's my favorite comedian, but I'm just like speaking on it because it's like when you wrong, or if you did right, you right. If it doesn't make sense, it don't make sense. It's like you don't want to play in a movie to be like a hard dude playing football, but you would rather dress up like in a dress too. Like, that's crazy.
Was it really because of his beliefs? Or was it because someone in the industry was pressuring him to turn down the role? Chris eventually made a return to the big screen in the 2012 Silver Linings Playbook. Back then, he sat down for an interview with the Rolling Stone to explain his hiatus from the big screen. He said, "I'm just really picky. A lot of movies came my way, and a lot of them I just wasn't interested in. I was hoping something would come and be out of the box from what I've normally done, but I didn't find it." Had Tucker not been picky, he could have pocketed millions and avoided his financial troubles. Strangely enough, Tucker didn't regret his career choices. During the same interview, he said, "You'll be around longer if you don't do any and everything for money. Doing cool little roles is more important than starring in a big movie. That's just not that good." During a separate interview with the Daily Beast, Chris said, "Well, the break wasn't planned. It just happened that way. I waited a long time and the right things weren't coming to me. The roles I was offered weren't that challenging. So I started trying to develop a bunch of projects for myself. I was always looking and hoping the right thing would come. I knew stepping back a bit and going back to my stand-up roots would help me gain perspective. However, fans think that something else was cooking behind the scenes. They noticed Chris started turning down the roles right around the time he was spotted with Epstein. One fan said, "He didn't have no Christian comedy crash. He wasn't willing to sell his soul for Hollyweird. Good for him." Another fan commented, "The mystery of why he quit making movies when he was at the top is solved. They blackmailed him." At the same time, fans have also raised questions about Chris's relationship history. He broke off his marriage a year after his trip with Epstein. The actor had previously tied the knot with Aja Pryor in 1997. The pair stayed together for 6 years before parting ways in 2003. Since then, Chris has not had any major relationships. He's been rumored to date the likes of singer India Arya, Vanessa Mendoza, Jalila Azrez, and Nia Long. However, none of these relationships lasted, which leads fans to question just who Tucker really is. It's one thing to turn down acting roles, but a failed dating life opens a whole other can of worms in the fans' eyes. At the end of the day, folks think that Tucker made the worst decision of his life by boarding Epstein's plane. To them, it seems like Chris changed following that flight, which falls in line with what Katt said about the original Smokey not being with us anymore. Although Chris has several projects in the works, there's no telling if he will ever climb back to the top. The cost of ending up on the hit list of the Hollywood elite is simply too high. One fan commented, "If you're going to dance with the devil, folks, never forget this part. He always collects the due bill. Always." But what do you think? Did Tucker really step foot on Epstein's island? And if he did, was he a mere spectator or an active participant? Was Tucker really silenced by the elite for knowing too much? Let us know in the comment section below.
Now, all I got to say about that is basically we did see a decline in his acting and in movies and different roles and shit like that. And he was turning down some great movie roles that we like that other, people played. So it could be anything, man. That's why I say, man, we can't be speculating the speculations. You know what I mean? And that means just like you hear about it and then you automatically just totally assume. I'm never just automatically assume. It's allegedly always to me. I'm gonna make sure I say that for the simple fact we really just don't know. Because the person that was reading that or narrating that, you know what I'm saying? AI is here. And I must speak on that, you know what I'm saying? And we are aware of that. So, I just basically wanted to just whatever we feel, we need to just know, man, these are our favorite artists. We want to see why they not continuing to do what they do. We love them for so long for doing what they do. Then when it's always somebody taking advantage of them. You know what I'm saying? Just that up-to-date new slavery type of shit, man. They catch you doing some butt-nasty shit, got it on video, got it on contract, and basically just be holding that shit back and hoping you fuck up, and then they got something over your head. But I put it to you like this. If you're a person and you really just don't give a shit, don't give a shit. But if you do some butt-nasty shit, that's your shit. Do it. But it's it's to each his own, man. It's you can't be worried about what other people do in their bedroom. So we finna get up out of here, man. I love y'all. Like, share, subscribe. I love you, Chris Tucker, man. Bounce back. Like I said, we need to see a comedy showdown. You know what I'm saying? Like a battle. You know what I'm saying? Shit, Katt Williams versus Chris Tucker. Eddie Murphy versus nigga Dave Chappelle, whoever. You know what I mean? Let's make that shit fun again, man. Y'all making life just scary and shit. We up out of here, man. That's why I'm gonna carry my guns everywhere I go. Hit
Squad. And Reckless. You know what I'm saying? MC Doc, baby. We came to do this. You heard?